We'd obviously spent a lot of time talking within the Kirk session about what we were going to do, and we very much decided that this has to be a positive thing, that we weren't going to be hostage to fortune and being told that we had to move out by a certain date. We were making a positive action to actually move out of the building and do something differently. We'd actually looked at lots of other options, and none of them quite fitted, but we felt that we had to do something and move out at that time.
And so the church now meets in the village hall. Could you describe that for me?
The village hall is right in the centre of the village. Broughton is very lucky in that we've got a set of two halls, one a large hall, one a medium-sized hall, which is where we meet, and one a small meeting hall that we actually use for sort of Kirk session meetings and other sort of small activities. So we're very well working out with it, but it is right in the centre of the community. It has a piano in it that we use. It's a functional village hall. It's not anything particularly architectural. It's a good sized area. It's got very good audiovisual facilities, so we don't now have hymn books. We put all the hymns up on the screen. We've tried to make it a little bit more than just a functional place. Like, we've taken one or two of the accoutrements that we took out of the church and put it up, but we can't actually have them up all the time, so it becomes a hall other times.
So how much does church feel different to what it was?
It feels, yes, it's different. It is different, but in a positive way. When we were in the church, we were 6, 10 people spread out in this fairly cold and damp church, which wasn't much fun, and we eventually, towards the end of it, kind of huddled in a corner. The church, the building that we are in, is much more flexible. We can, instead of sitting in rows, we now sit in a circle. We've encouraged people to actually talk. I keep on saying to people there's no such thing now as a rhetorical question, because we will actually answer back and have a discussion. So it's much more relaxed. We sit with our coffees. We actually sit after the service and we have a wee chat normally around the circle. We're actually much more a group.
And beyond Sundays, which is what we're talking about now, how is church expressing itself? Now there's no longer a building and it's using the village hall.
We have a sign that says that the church is meeting in the village hall, and it was being put up and taken down each week, but we now have the permission from the village hall committee to have it up all of the time. So people know that the church is actually there each week. We have a prayer group that we started before all this, the discussions were, and it's been continuing. We started by learning together how different forms of prayer, and then we settled on a kind of contemplative prayer. And we've been doing Julian of Norwich for the last year or so. We also do a Films That Make You Think. In the same place as we have the church, on a Friday evening once a month, we actually have a film, and then we have a discussion afterwards about the film. We now do, within the church, we have Cafe Church that we do once a month. We're talking about maybe doing a sort of winter warmers idea of running a musicals on the sort of last Wednesday of the month, going into the spring. So there's lots of different things going on.
So it sounds like you've worked through a period of mourning, and now there's new things happening. So how are folks feeling about church in Broughton?
I think very positive. It was important to have that time of mourning, because people had to kind of get over the idea of the church was no longer there and it wasn't available for the community or for the church. But then it looks as if now we can do lots of different things, which is great, because we're right in the centre of the community doing things. We also have that financial pressure taken off us. The actual church finances are a whole lot more solvent because we're not paying for all the buildings, but we are actually contributing a huge amount to the actual village hall because we're having all these different meetings going on. So we're becoming important, if you like, to the village as well.
You were telling me that you had a number of people gathering for your cafe church or something, and seeing people who might not have come to church if it had been where it was.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a meeting month or so ago, where all these people turned out from nowhere, and it was a little bit like loaves of fishes, because we tend to have sort of cafe church, and then we have a soup and sandwich lunch, and I was making the soup, and I thought there's no way that we've got enough soup. But like the loaves and fishes, everybody got fed and there was plenty over, and it actually was really difficult to get people to walk away or to actually go away, because they were enjoying themselves so much, and that's great.
Is there anything that would be helpful for other people to hear who are got similar situations?
I think it's important not to be despondent if you actually do move away from your church. There is life after the church building. The church is not a building, it's the people. And if you can create a community that actually worships together and fellowships together, we are going to see other things happening. And we are, I say, very much part of the village, and we want to continue that. So don't be despondent, keep going, and there is life after it.
Great, thank you so much.